Welcome to this explainer. Okay, if you are a focused learner looking to completely master your backyard oasis, you're in exactly the right place. We're looking at a very specific, honestly, incredibly frustrating phenomenon today. It's mid-spring. The weather's warming up and your pool water finally hits that magic 70-degree mark. But right as you get ready to jump in, you see it, a recurring, mysterious yellow dust just coating your pool. You brush it, you vacuum it, and a few days later, yep, it is right back where it started.
Okay, let's dive into this. Why does this stuff always come back? We're about to launch a full-on detective investigation to catch this elusive culprit that's ruining your pool days. I mean, why does it completely ignore your regular cleaning routine? Well, we're basically dealing with a massive case of mistaken identity. Treating the wrong problem means you're literally pouring money and chemicals down the drain, all while the real suspect just keeps multiplying.
I love this quote because it hits the nail on the head. Algae can make you feel like you're losing your mind. You raise chlorine, the pool looks better, and then the green haze or mustard dust is back next week. Getting this diagnosis wrong carries a huge financial cost. You can spend an absolute fortune treating the wrong issue. But beyond the sheer frustration and the wasted cash, there's actually a serious health risk at play here. When certain types of this yellow dust consume all your chlorine, your pool completely loses its sanitization. That creates the perfect breeding ground for dangerous bacteria, like E. coli, to throw a party in the exact water you and your family are swimming in.
Section 1. Meet the suspects. Algae versus pollen.
And this brilliantly illustrates our two very distinct suspects. Suspect number 1, mustard algae. This stuff hates the sun. It actively seeks out shaded walls, corners, or those little areas under your ladders, and it clings on tightly. Depending on the exact strain you have, it might feel slimy or strangely dry and dusty. Now, suspect number 2 is pollen. Pollen is completely at the mercy of the wind and gravity. It just sits loosely on the surface of the water or settles evenly across the pool floor, and it always feels gritty or powdery when you touch it.
Section 2. Forensic testing. Diagnosing the dust.
Now that we know their profiles, we need some forensic tools to test the scene. We absolutely cannot issue an execution warrant and dump harsh chemicals into our water until we know exactly which suspect we're dealing with. So let's look at a foolproof test. It's called the brush test. And honestly, you can walk outside right now and do this. Just push your pool brush firmly against a patch of that yellow dust. If it's mustard algae, it's going to disperse into a superfine cloud, like a poof of smoke that just hangs suspended in the water, making everything look hazy. But if it's pollen, it's heavier. It'll gently swirl around, rise up a tiny bit, and then quickly sink right back down nearby.
So the crucial point is getting definitive proof. If the visual test leaves you guessing, we bring in the heavy hitter, our scientific proof, the overnight chlorine loss test, or OCLT. It's simple. You test your free chlorine levels after sunset, you leave your pump running overnight, and you test that free chlorine again right before sunrise.
The results of the OCLT give us a totally black and white answer. Why does this work so well? Because algae is a living organism. It's actively consuming your chlorine even in the pitch dark. So if your chlorine drops by more than 1.0 parts per million overnight, you've got a living, breathing mustard algae infection. Pollen, on the other hand, it's just inert organic debris. It doesn't consume much chlorine in the dark at all. So a drop of less than 1.0 ppm means you're just dealing with a pollen problem.
Section 3. Executing mustard algae.
Okay, if your OCLT results came back positive for algae, it's time for heavy-duty chemistry. Standard pool shock? Forget about it. It won't even kill this organism. You need to follow this highly specific protocol. First up, adjust your pH up to 7.8. Then add a specialized algicide, something like yellow out. Immediately after that, you've got to triple shock your pool to a massive 30 parts per million of free chlorine. And you must do this at dusk so the sun's UV rays don't burn off all that chlorine before it actually does its job. Finally, brush every single inch of the pool vigorously. You have to break the algae's protective biofilm so the chemicals can actually penetrate and kill it.
But wait, the chemical treatment isn't the end of the story. Listen to this rule very carefully. Decontaminate everything that touched the water. I cannot stress this enough. The absolute #1 reason mustard algae returns is because spores are hiding on the gear you just used. You have to soak your pool toys, your telescopic poles, your brushes, heck, even wash your swimsuits in a 10-to-1 water to bleach solution. If you skip this step, you are quite literally throwing the algae right back into your perfectly clean pool.
To finish off the execution, keep your filter running continuously for 48 to 72 hours. Once that stubborn algae is finally dead, it'll turn this ghostly gray or white color and settle on the bottom.
Now at this stage, you must vacuum it to waste. Do not, I repeat, do not vacuum it through your filter, or you risk saturating your filter media and blasting those dead algae spores right back into the pool through your return jets.
Section 4. Purging the pollen.
So what if your tests proved our suspect was just pollen? Well, we pivot entirely. Put away the heavy chemicals, because pollen isn't alive. Shocking, it won't do a single thing. Instead, you need to physically extract it. This means skimming the surface daily before the pollen even has a chance to sink. It means popping ultrafine skimmer socks into your baskets to catch those microscopic grains. It means running your filter 24/7 until the water is clear. And honestly, using ultrafine filtration tools like a Scuba Series robot to capture all the tiny particles your main system misses.
Now, what's really interesting about this slide is how we can use chemistry to supercharge our mechanical filters. You see, pollen particles are often so incredibly small that they just slip right through normal filter media. Pool clarifiers totally solve this by acting like molecular magnets. They literally bind these tiny, negatively charged pollen particles together into much larger, heavier clumps. Then, your filter can easily grab onto them and trap them for good.
But please, do not mistake pollen for just some harmless nuisance that you can ignore. While pollen itself isn't alive, it is organic matter, and that means, as it sits in your pool, it acts as a massive drain on your chlorine. If you just leave a heavy pollen load untreated, your chlorine levels are going to absolutely plummet, and that opens the door wide open for our other suspect, green or mustard algae, to move right into your totally unprotected water.
Section 5. Future-proofing your pool. All right, now that we've treated the immediate threat, how do we future-proof your pool so you aren't dealing with this again next year? A massive piece of the puzzle is upgrading your equipment, specifically getting a variable speed pump. Look, a traditional single-speed pump can cost around $450 a year just to run, which makes pool owners super hesitant to run it 24/7 during pollen season. But a variable speed pump, that can save you up to 90% on energy costs. We're talking running it for only $100 to $200 for the whole year. That is a game changer.
Let's move to and see how this builds your ultimate passive defense. Because a variable speed pump is so cheap to operate, you can just leave it running continuously on a low speed. Stagnant water is your absolute worst enemy here. By keeping the water moving 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, pollen just doesn't get a chance to settle, and any sneaky algae spores are constantly being pushed right through your sanitization system. It prevents these outbreaks almost entirely.
And where exactly does all that moving water go? Right into your filter. If you live in a high pollen area, a DE or diatomaceous earth filter is the absolute gold standard. While a standard sand filter only captures particles down to about 20 to 40 microns, meaning it lets tiny algae spores and pollen slip right through, cartridge filters do a bit better at 10 to 20 microns. But a DE filter, it captures particles as incredibly tiny as 3 to 5 microns. It physically traps the microscopic algae spores and pollen dust that the other filters completely miss.
Which brings us to the ultimate question. Is your pool ready for the mid-spring surge? You now have the forensic tools to properly diagnose the yellow dust, the aggressive protocols to eliminate it, and the knowledge to completely future-proof your system. So get outside, run that brush test, and reclaim your oasis. But, it does make you wonder. If microscopic algae is this incredibly good at hiding, what other invisible threats are multiplying in your water right now? Thank you so much for joining me on this explainer, and we'll see you next time.